and tricks in assessment of the cervix. This is a normal cervix in the non-pregnant, while this is a normal cervix during pregnancy. Here, note the internal os, the cervical canal, external os, anterior wall of the cervix, posterior wall of the cervix. Here, note the vagina, the posterior fornix, closely related to the porch of Douglas, posterior lip of the cervix, posterior wall of the cervix, anterior wall of the cervix, the cervical canal, the internal os. This patient was carrying a singleton pregnancy at 36 weeks, while this was carrying a twin pregnancy also at 36 weeks. Here, not the straight cervix. A straight cervix is usually short, so not the cervical canal, the mucosa, the stroma, the internal and external os. Here, look at this long cervix, not the cervical mucosa, posterior wall, anterior wall of the cervix. This was a case of acute ruptured ectopic pregnancy. You can see hemoperitoneum, clotted blood. Let's use the sapphire mode. Vagina, anterior lip of the cervix, posterior lip of the cervix, anterior wall of the cervix, posterior wall of the cervix, external os, cervical mucosa, internal os. Again, in this trans-abdominal image, bladder, vagina, anterior lip of the cervix, anterior wall of the cervix, posterior lip, posterior wall of the cervix, external os, cervical canal, internal os. In this transvaginal image, the cervix, posterior wall of the cervix, including the porch of Douglas, external os, cervical mucosa, internal os. This V-shape internal os is a normal variation of the internal os. So this was the first case I misdiagnosed as placenta previa, while in actual sense it was a case of uterine contractions. 40 minutes after this, I observed that there was no longer any funneling and the fetal head has descended. So on review, I realized that this was actually contractions giving a false impression of funneling. So if you want to measure the cervical length here, this is the only portion that is there. So this would have been an extremely short cervix, but this is false funneling as a result of uterine contractions. So uterine contractions mimicking what looks like cervical incompetence. Again, look at this anterior view of the cervix, posterior wall of the cervix, I beg your pardon, anterior wall of the cervix, posterior wall of the cervix, not the cervical mucosa, cervical canal, not the beginning of the cervical mucosa and the end of the cervical mucosa. So again, this is the intravesical fold. So we draw a line from there downward, it crosses the internal also. This actually is the cervical length from here to here. All these are uterine contractions. If you want to measure from here down here, you have an extremely long cervix. So you can see this area is bulky. So contractions giving a false impression of long cervix. Again, look at the cervical canal here. the mucosa ends somewhere here. So everything here is uterine contractions are not part of the cervix. As you can see here, if you draw a line from the cervical wall down, this is the region of the internal. Also, this is actually the lower uterine segments or lower corpus are not part of the cervix because of uterine contractions. Again, this is a patient who had cyclage. Look at the cyclage. Beyond that, look at this. So you want to measure the cervix from here to here. So you have an extremely long cervix. Why? Because of uterine contractions. Again, look at this bulky lower segment and this sludge. When she was asked to walk, the sludge is sludge. And look at the contraction has started wearing off. So uterine contractions giving a false impression of a long cervix. This was the case of a dynamic cervix. In the case of ultrasound scan, look at what happened. What looks like funneling, but look at the placenta. So if one mistook this for a placenta, this is where the actual placenta is. So this is uterine contractions. Again, look at the funneling here during the same examination. This is another case at 27 weeks, not the open cervical canal due to contractions. Look at this. During the same city. No wonder the patient had a preterm delivery. This was in a non-pregnant over descended bladder, giving you this ruler-like uterus. When you have an over descended bladder, the cervix will also be elongated and have a falsely long cervix. This was in a non-pregnant. Here is in pregnancy. Look at the over descended bladder and look at the cervix. And so here, look at the contraction in the posterior wall of the cervix. Again, over descended bladder, giving a false impression of placenta previa, as you can see here. Note the contractions here. When the patient was asked to empty the bladder for a transvaginal scan, you can see that. So this was actually a false placenta previa because of over descended bladder, as you can see. The head here was well applied to the cervix, not the cervical mucosa. Again, look at these contractions here. It's been a false impression of placenta previa. Where the contractions went, where the placenta is. Again, note the differential echogenicity between the anterior wall of the cervix here and the posterior wall. This is echogenic, thick and echogenic. Why? Because of pressure from the transvaginal pump. This is another case of an adenomyotic uterus, as can be seen. Look at the homogeneity of the cervix is similar to the myometrium, but not here. It's more echogenic than the posterior wall of the cervix. Why? Because of prop pressure. So this echogenic anterior lip is due to pressure from the transvaginal prop. Now this was a case of dichorionic twin with demise of the first twin. Patient presented with vaginal discharge and lower abdominal pain, and that is where you can see the cervical canal here, anechoic, that's with discharge, and you can see the sloping skin of the baby protruding in the cervical canal. So history is extremely important. We want to be able to clearly define what the problem is. Here at postpartum visits, the patient who had had three previous cesarean sessions, not the deficient anterior wall of the cervix and the thick posterior wall of the cervix. That's the one. Number two, not this niche here, not the niche here, and not the scanty residual myometrium here, and the adhesions. In this video, not the cervical mucosa here, where we expect the stroma. What you can see here is blood flow intracervical legs in a patient with a normally sighted placenta. So our learning points are that misdiagnosis could arise from overdistended bladder, spontaneous uterine contractions, and contractions of the cervix due to undue pressure from the transvaginal pump. Thank you.
The